Recording now. Good evening, podcast world. Welcome to another episode of Things My Mother Never Told Me. Say hey, Brandis.
Hey, hey.
Yeah, we doing our special show. I'll start out by saying that after I get through this school stuff, maybe we'll get to the point where we'll be able to book steady guests as opposed to just, and then maybe depending on how the media cycle goes, we may keep doing this. I don't know.
Because there's always something happening, right?
There's always something happening.
We're talking about.
Right. And for the folks that's out there listening, it's so much going on. It's hard to pick something to talk about. It's just like crazy. But we'll give it a shot. So I guess we'll start out with the Supreme Court. How about that? They were right. They were supposed to be making a ruling this week about the college loan debt relief. And they ruled on a couple other items in the meanwhile, but they have not ruled on that yet. And I'm looking at here at this, it's called The Hill, where they give you news from Capitol Hill. And they're expecting the ruling to come down sometime. Well, it's 6:40.
They always on their own time.
Right, they are.
When you're not looking for something, or it's not big talk about it, they make decisions left and right. As soon as it's something that people like, I heard they was talking about, like them stimulus. I heard it was approved.
Right.
They were never on time.
Right. And so it's a chance that they might make a ruling this evening, but it's more likely to happen tomorrow. And just to refresh everybody's memory, President Biden did a unilateral presidential edict last year sometime, leaving, is that a word? Leaving? Well, we'll go with that. Relieving, how about that? Relieving student loan debt. And depending on how much or how you got your loans, you could get up to $20,000 forgiven. And I think for a single person, it's, what is it, $75,000 of income?
Yes, no more than, you couldn't make no more than 75. I want to say individual, maybe 100,000 combined.
Well, I think it's 150 combined. Yeah. And so that could get you as much as $10,000, depending on how you got your loans. And if you got your loans like I did, it would be $10,000. And a lot of folks have a problem with, well, not a lot, it's people that have a problem with that. And generally, it's people who don't have a problem with that amount of money paying it back. People
they're thriving and flourishing in their said, field or whatever they may have gone into and accumulated said debt for.
and quite frankly, a lot of them probably never accumulated the debt to begin with.
There's
that's
that also.
That's usually people who stand to not benefit from something are the ones that are the most against it. Yeah.
Have no problem saying no.
Right.
It's hard for them to kind of sympathize, with what the reality is for a lot of people. Many more people than the small group of them who have. And that's not to say that a lot of people have not, managed their finances in a way that they can pay it off. I know more people than I thought I would have known that, really after they got out, when they had to start paying back, really started, payment plans and focused on paying. And maybe it wasn't $80,000 worth of debt, but, to me, 20 is significant for you to still be existing and living, as a person fresh out of college. Some have gone into their specific career field, some have not, but they just said, look, I'm just going to, chunk by chunk pay on it. And, people were showing loan paid off letters way before they start talking about forgiving them. So kudos to them. But I told them they would have to come and get it from me. If they wanted it.
Well, those are the other people that's mad.
Yeah.
It's the ones that paid them off. They may, well, why did they do this 40 years ago or 20 years ago? Yeah, well, they didn't.
Well, so you pat yourself on the back for being a responsible adult
Yeah,
and,
right.
having
Good,
the means of which to go
right. Good
ahead
for
and take
you.
care of
Right.
that.
But if, but for the most part, it's hard to go to school and accumulate that debt, depending on where you went to school, of course,
Mhm.
is how your debt's going to look. And
Yep.
then what your chosen educational field was will then also determine
Yeah.
your ability to pay the debt back.
Mhm. How many years? Some people, was forward out the door.
Yeah.
Other people went beyond that and, accumulated even more debt, residencies for, those that may be going into medical fields, law school, maybe, taking more time and all that stuff.
Right.
So,
Right. And so, right,
um,
there's a lot of ways that the debt can be deep,
mhm.
and not a lot of ways where it's not deep.
Yeah, and then you got people like me who just let them interest numbers rack up. So what started out as something small has now grown into still something that will be covered by this nice 10,000 if they'd like to go ahead and release that to me. It'll be covered by that, but it's much more than what it was. When I took it out because it was just really for I think I tell the story on my show, or I may be mentioning it on here, but so I went to school on a full ride from Wade McCree scholarship to Western Michigan University. But I got there, I had a roommate for like a day or two. Sis said no thank you and left, so I had a room to myself like the whole first semester. When second semester rolled around, of course, that put me on the very top of the list to get anybody starting in the second semester as a roommate. So I was about to get a roommate, and I was like, yeah, no, at this point I've been living since August alone. I don't think I want to
Right.
transition back. I had already built my mind up to have a roommate, and then I didn't. So I took out the loan to cover a single suite. And then I think they split it between semesters. So it was like two 2,500s or something like that. So yeah, it was just money for me to spend and buy books and all that good stuff. So that's what I did with it. It was literally no living expenses I had besides the debt I went and gathered up. So
Well, alrighty then.
there's that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
y'all probably don't feel sad for me. That's okay.
no,
I know, and
that's what I
that's
was about to say.
I'm okay with that. But it's people out here who really did,
And if some kind of way you can benefit from that, well,
give my team to somebody else. Absolutely no, because the debt is still in my name. And I was paying $100 a month until they stopped taking it out. They switched companies. That's what they did. They went from Sally Mae to whoever the new people. Well, they done switched people 3-4 times at this point, I feel like. So y'all had the card number on file to do the auto pay. Y'all messed that up when y'all wanted to switch and asked my permission to start taking it again, and I didn't respond. So there's that, guys. You were locked in to your
right.
100 a month.
And you probably thought that was a scam anyway.
Oh
I'm
no,
not.
I can't give my card to these new people. Who is
Yeah, I don't know
this?
them.
Navient. I think that's what it went from. Sally made a Navient, and now it's somebody else. But yeah.
Yeah, well, all right. So we sit and wait for word on that, and a lot of people are not so
Hopeful.
hopeful. Yeah, not so hopeful that it's going to work out. But there is some reason to think that something positive may happen. Is they in North Carolina they were redrawing the districts, as they are so often want to do, and they were doing it in such a way that because what they do is one of two things: either the black districts all become one district, or they split them all up so that there's not a majority in any district. But the best case scenario is you might have one district that's majority black, and so that destroys the voting block. And so North Carolina was about to draw some district lines, and the state said no. Was it the state? Well, the federal government came in and said no, you can't do that. And so they filed a suit saying that the states had autonomy on drawing the districts. And it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled against North Carolina and the Republican Party. It says, Supreme Court rejects GOP in North Carolina case that could have reshaped elections beyond the state. And that just came down today. And so that's a good thing. And actually, they voted 6-3, which is interesting. Because y'all, we know that like here in Michigan, the way we drew the districts of what, 4 or 5 years ago, a lot of incumbent Democrats wound up having to run against each other in order to get back in. So right. So when they took our seats away, they made sure they drew the lines so that the Democrats would lose representation. It kind of bit them in the butt this last election because
yeah, I bet.
At least on the state level, but nationally, for the national house, and they redrew the lines, and it was crazy because a lot, like God, I can't think of a name, out of Southfield. You know what I'm talking about? I can't think of her name. She retired. She just went ahead and retired. But they had like the 3 top. Because one thing they were concerned about was there was not going to be enough Black representation in Washington for Michigan, because they all were running in the same district.
Gotcha.
And I think there was one other district that there was aside from that, but the majority of them were all in the same district. Right. So we wound up losing 2 people, I believe, that were already incumbent. And in national politics, seniority helps. And so there's that deal. So we're going to wait and see what's happening. And the funny thing is, they said the effect of that decision in North Carolina is minimum. The state Supreme Court under new Republican majority has already undone its redistricting ruling, and another case in Ohio was pending. So they're doing this all over the country. Much like everything they've been doing is all over the country. States with majority Republican have been undoing and redoing and twisting and reshaping stuff to put the minorities, us, at risk. Because in Mississippi, did you hear about Mississippi? They literally, I forget what city it is, what county, they literally went in and put a judge over that county that had nothing to do with that county at all.
Oh, no.
Majority Black county, and they put a guy in who was totally against anything that they was doing.
They were trying to do. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how these cases started getting to the Supreme Court, because that was one of them. How do you redrew? No, you don't put somebody in the court that has absolutely nothing to do with that district. But that's what they tried to do. And so they bumped him out the way. But the other thing that I really wanted to talk about that to me is a royal pain in the butt, and I don't know if the missus is going to get in here in time to talk about this. There's this woman in, did I say it was North Carolina? Oh, South Carolina. South Carolina. Carolinas. 93 years old, right? And she's in a fight right now to keep her property. The property has been with her family for generations, because they are trying to force her to sell the land for a redevelopment project
that they've already begun. And that's what, not to jump ahead, but that's what always gets me, is like, y'all make these decisions and start this work without like considering, they're just going to give up. You know what I'm saying? They're going to give it up. Like, there won't be any fight. There won't be any issues. We're going to go ahead and start working because we got this. Who's going to stop us? Is my thinking of their, attitude towards
that is the attitude.
Who's going to stop us?
Right. Because they said her family has owned that property since the end of the Civil War.
Yeah.
And so they said she was approached by a developer, Bailey Point Investment Group, in May, last month, asking her to sell the property to make way for a 27-acre, 147-unit development on Hilton Head Island called Bailey's Cove. She refused.
very simply, as she has such right.
Right. But like you just said, here's the good part. They had started doing the construction last year.
Yeah, that's what tripped me out. Like, oh, y'all done built the sidewalk already, eh? Y'all done built y'all road right on up in here already, because
Oh
y'all
yeah.
just knew.
You want to sell this property to us? Because we already started
Because
working.
we about to, yours is just kind of in the way right now, this section that we about to start working on.
Right. And then they had the audacity to sue them. If anybody listening, not her sue the developer
Developer
suing her.
After it seems that she had already put in what, like $2,000 worth of work to move, like, I guess whatever they had previously told her, a shed or something was on the property, so she paid to, move it. Probably,
Right.
at the time, not really thinking, just like, you know what, I'm gonna keep my peace because I know I'm not going nowhere. So y'all saying it's y'all property, let me go on it and I'll pay to have it moved or whatever. Excuse me. And now they're saying still part of her land is on their, like, oh, y'all are a joke.
Right. I mean, it amazes me. They said that a shed, a satellite dish,
Yeah, that's what
and her back porch.
it's still on what they've paid for, what they own.
I don't
I'm
understand
trying to find exactly how much, because I know in the interview she was saying it's like 20 feet or something, 10 feet or something, she said, and the neighbors was like, actually, you're 40 feet from there where they
From their
started
line.
building, so
Yeah.
you're still good. So
Right.
you're more than good.
And she
And I'm
paid
just like,
over $2,000 to move the shed.
mm-hmm.
The back porch is still standing. So now they countersued. Her charging harassment, intimidation, trespassing, bullying, the whole. It said they've been leaving trash on her property. Her tires have been slashed.
Oh wow, I see that. Wow.
A snake was placed on her bedroom window. And now the developers are questioning whether they own the property at all.
Of course, because that's how dare you not want to move, like you can't build around.
Right. And then they did what they always do. Went and talk to other family members,
mm-hmm.
trying to see if they can trick them into taking the deal.
Yeah. Where there's got to be some kind of dissension somewhere up in here, and we can get
Oh
them
yeah.
to convince you, grandma, to move.
Oh yeah.
Here's what we gonna cut you a check for.
Cut you a check, and when you start cutting checks, people start agreeing with you,
mm-hmm.
especially if you ain't got
considering it at least.
Right.
They said she has 7 children, 40 grandchildren, 50 great-grandchildren, and 16 great-great-grandchildren.
Yeah.
And the property is like a sanctuary. We come to grandma's house for holidays, fellowship, funerals, barbecues, and to try and take that away. And they're trying to take that away from our entire family.
Right. And so that they say, and they said that it's not a new fight to those people in South. They call it the Low Country in South Carolina. They've been doing this to them before, and it's the deal that they always do. The big company always comes in and wants to do something, and more often than not, government agrees with them, and we know why. It's all about that dollar. And they said here's something that's real good. The Jonesville Preservation Society was talking to a TV station, and they said once we did some investigation, we found out this development was going in, and it had already been approved before anybody knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
They just slipped it in and approved it.
Yep.
And now they said we don't have the right to change what has already been approved. That ship is sailed. We can't change the zoning. Here's the problem. How are you going to just change zoning to affect people because some company want to come in and make some money? And
they're going to benefit. Excuse me. So it works for everybody that it works for, and everybody it doesn't. Good luck.
Right.
Best of luck here.
Right. But they'll tell you it's for the good of the community, eminent domain. And that's why I was telling you before we came on, I wish Tanya was in here, because she has a story to tell. Her mother, or I don't know, was Tanya had moved down south, or was she here? But when they built Pole Town plant,
Mm.
that was one of those issues where they came in, and that's why she don't, her mother didn't like Coleman Young, and I don't think she's too crazy about his legacy. But they came in and declared eminent domain over the people living in that area,
Mm-hmm.
and took their property and gave them some money. I don't know how much it was, and it probably wasn't enough, but moved them out throw them out in the street, and I think she could tell it better, but if I'm not mistaken, that they had a meeting with all the people, and they promised them one thing and got them to agree, and came with something totally different when it came time to execute the deal. And so it's the case of again, the big brother, the government coming in and taking over stuff. And here in Detroit, we've seen that happen. It's happened so many times that you wind up getting people who refuse to take a reasonable price for their property because they're trying to make a big kill, because they'll come in and they'll make it look good. Whoever got the biggest mouth in the neighborhood is the one they're gonna try to get the biggest check to.
Yeah.
Get them to convince everybody else to move.
Yeah.
And so it's like down there on the waterfront. Remember, the casinos are supposed to have been down on the waterfront, but they couldn't get people to sell the property. They took over, they got a few people to sell, but a lot of people wouldn't sell their property. So since they couldn't get all of it, they just left.
Said, yep. No worries, we'll go somewhere else.
Go somewhere else. And so now the casinos, as opposed to being right there as a district, now you got them spread out across downtown Detroit.
Yeah.
And another time they did it was the Chrysler plant over on Jefferson. Jefferson and St. Jean, they bought out a lot of people over there, and the people who didn't sell, they just put them out. And in that case, a lot of the prices that I heard they were offering people for their property was reasonable.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to find I don't know who you consult or find. I'm sure there's somebody out there, right? Or somebody that will be wise counsel to say, now listen, you're going to either be stuck holding the house or stuck with the bag, or you're going to be out on the street.
Right.
And,
with the little pennies they're going to give
you.
Yeah. Because usually, ultimately, if somebody offering you to buy your property from you, and you can find that the price they're offering you is 2.5 to 3 times more than what its value is, you need to sell.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna wind up with nothing. Like the guy down there next
to.
I
say, was that by Little Caesars?
Little Caesars? Yeah, trying to sell a house for $2-3 million. Get out of here.
I mean, go be, whatever.
Well, you see
your ambition is, but
you see what happened to him. They say, you know what? We'll just build everything around you.
Yeah.
And then was the last year the house burned down.
Yeah.
And now you get nothing because you couldn't insure it. But that's crazy. Sometimes people just a little bit too greedy. And I guess that's the biggest problem where all this happens is greed. Oh, so Brand, let's hit the other story. Let me real quick. Because I couldn't get this thing to print. And I got to look this up. Have you seen the latest? So you threw with that. You got anything else you want to talk about that on that?
No, the only other thing I wanted to mention was I saw Kyrie Irving donated to the GoFundMe. I think they were trying to raise about $250,000, or that's what the goal was set at for, lawyer and all the fees and things like that for the suit. And I think last I checked early this afternoon, it was at like 118,000. So, and then Tyler Perry today, shared it. So everybody's like, oh, now you done got some names. She done got some armor behind her. Now it's time to fight. Right. I think the caption said like, grandma or auntie or somebody needs some help. Where we pulling up to? Just tell us what the time and date. And everybody like, we showing up. We gonna be there for you. But I'm like, it's always helpful, right? When you get some people with platforms behind the cause and everything like this. And I certainly think this is one people like it's obvious, right? What's happening here, bullying, and right. People, trying to exert whatever they think, they pockets, they wallet, really. on these people. So, but yeah, that's it. So hopefully,
well,
this don't stress her out. That's what I immediately started thinking, was like, oh my goodness, she's already, but she was in good, like, health and spirit, like she talking in the interview. So, she's thriving. She's a good 93-year-old.
Right. Well, she said, I done seen a whole lot of stuff in my life.
What
I ain't scared of y'all.
Yeah.
I ain't scared of y'all. And so, who but her can we get people, will people rally around? She the perfect poster child. But yeah, Kyrie donated 40,000.
Yeah.
Reportedly. And that's cool.
Right. Yeah.
Because they talk about how crazy they talk about Kyrie
is.
is.
Exactly. But I'm like, I didn't see Kyrie name, and I don't know if it's him or not. It's found whoever. Maybe he just got a stash of money that he just give. But I didn't see him on a couple of GoFundMe's with some, substantial donations to stuff. So, they say what they want, but I didn't see the man put up and shut up.
Right. Right.
On some causes that, affected the community and people. So
yeah. He got money and he put it where his mouth is. Because the thing about Kyrie is that whatever you say about him, he stand up to his principles. And now we can say he crazy because some of the stuff he says sounds crazy. But when it comes down to causes, so we've seen a couple of occasions where things need to be done, he puts his money where his mouth is. And he doesn't run around broadcasting that he did
at all. At all.
So he can say the world flat all he wants, long as he that's between him and the edge.
I won't be there to find out with him. So
okay, here it is. The one of the hot topics, I subscribe to Bridge, Michigan. Well, actually Bridge, Detroit, which is a portion of Bridge, Michigan. And I think I talked about them on one of the other shows. We talked about the girl with the store over on the west side doing all that. And so one of the things they put out there was women of color dying in childbirth is a crisis. And it says, are doulas the answer? Okay, now, I don't know what a doula is. I ain't looking at it. You know what a doula is?
So like a midwife.
Okay,
type.
midwife.
Yeah, like I think it may be a more standardized term, or goes back to the history of what it is more so, like, than midwife. But yeah, it's like a certified person that could be there to assist and deliver in childbirth.
Okay.
And it probably more in depth into that. They may
right,
come and teach the mother and prep and all that stuff like that, and aftercare may be involved too. Okay. But I think Erykah Badu might be one.
I think she is. Yeah, because I saw a story fairly recently about this couple who was doing the midwife thing, and they were having the birth at home, and they tried to make them take the baby to the hospital after it was born, and they refused. They said, no, we got our midwife, we doing our thing, blah, blah, blah. And they wound up, social services came in and took the baby from them.
Oh, I think I did see this. Did they gotten the baby back? No, the one I saw, she ended up getting the baby back.
Okay, maybe they did, but they wound up taking the child from them. Yeah. Simply because they didn't want them to the baby. First of all, the baby had no symptoms of anything being wrong with him. They just was mad because they wouldn't take the baby to the hospital, but everything was fine with the baby. So that's the kind of stuff. And so the reason why this even became an issue is because this Olympic sprinter, Tori Bowie, died in childbirth about a month ago.
Oh, wow. Why does the name sound familiar? But I didn't know. I'm thinking
because she's world-class sprinter. She gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist.
Where did she run with Allison Felix?
I think she did run with them.
Allison
Felix is older than 32, so yeah, she probably did.
Yeah.
Because Allison Felix been running for a long time. But yeah, she ran, she was on one of them gold medal teams in the Olympics. I'm trying to get her to pull up. But she...
Yes, this is her. Yes, I literally was on Allison Felix Instagram randomly last night because they were Title IX. The Aces did a Title IX thing, and I was, going down a whole rabbit hole with that. And yeah, she had posted her.
Right. And so everybody was tripping because, well, she's 32 years old. Healthy, completely healthy, no problems. And then she died And I guess it had to be in childbirth. And so the question is that why are women of color more dying at a more rapid or having severe illnesses at a more rapid rate than anybody else? And that's a question that's been going around for years and years and years, and they still haven't come up with an answer.
They downplay when we say symptoms. They don't take it serious. It's always, no, it's not that, it's this, it's.
Right. And so the question is, anybody that's listening, what have you had any experience with this type of thing, in birthing your children? This one woman I'm looking at, Jennifer Haymoss, she was having a second child in 2019, and she wanted to have a natural birth, but she wasn't so keen on going to hospitals and dealing with doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And they said she had a first son in 2017 by cesarean because of complications. She didn't want to do that again. And so it says choosing a doula, professionals who provide physical, mental, and spiritual support to pregnant mothers was a no-brainer. And that's what the key is, like you were saying, is that they provide that spiritual and mental support to pregnant mothers. They don't just do the medical side of it, but they are more of a spiritual crutch, if you will, for the mother to lean on going through the pregnancy thing. And there's a lot of people who have problems. Well, there are a lot of problems in hospital. You see these commercials all the time talking about how certain birth defects are caused by the process of delivering the baby. Right. Yeah. The medicine and the way they deliver the children. And so it's a lot of people who ain't trying to do that. And
yeah, it's way more now than I don't know. I guess I haven't been around all that long, but it's more common, I think, among people in my generation and, who are like going in that direction more than anything, more home births,
right,
water births, and all these things like that. Just because of those reasons, they either have had an experience at a hospital or they're in their families and they just feel like, you know what, I'd rather trust, my practice and, what I know, I had somebody on my timeline actually stream, excuse me, they went live during the whole thing. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to exit here because I don't know if I'm ready to see the complete situation here. But for whoever needs to see this, God bless. And, prayers and success on the successful delivery. And it was, but I was just like, wow.
Right. Well, it's funny because I guess that the whole thing of childbirth has gone through a process. I can't think of the word I want to talk, but it's not just a process, but it's grown. It's gotten morphed over the years.
Evolved,
yeah. Back in the day, I guess when I was born, it was like the doctor said, "This is what's going on," and basically you accepted that.
Mm-hmm.
And because that was the last say, there wasn't a whole lot of information available to people to think differently. And then if something bad happened during childbirth, they could always blame it on the health of the mother. But now with so much information out here, that it's become, people don't just trust the medical profession
everything.
anymore.
Yeah. And that's the thing for me too, that it's like, wow, people really are distrusting. Like they really rather risk it all at home with a doula or a midwife than in a hospital where, you would think, right, if something goes bad, I can get life-saving measures or there's a trained professional who is going to be able to assist me.
Right.
Eye-opening for me, certainly, because I'm not there yet, guys.
Right. And I guess the thought process is, and I'm guessing, is that there shouldn't be that many problems in the childbirthing process, because it's a cycle, I guess. Because years ago, when I was in school, we did I had a class at Wayne State years ago, and it was a sex and society or history class, but they talked about how in Africa women used to have babies. They'd be pregnant. They would go have the baby in the field.
Yeah, deliver it themselves.
Deliver the baby, blue, and then watch this. Here we get crazy. They would have the husband, the father of the baby, would be in the tent, like he was having a baby, and after she had the baby, they would bring the baby and give it to him, laying up there all sick, and she would go back working. Just go back to work. She wouldn't, there was no 8-week medical maternity leave and none of that. She would just go. Look, I got my leg up in there in this camera. She would just she would just go back. She would just go back to work. And so there is some historical data that shows that in the act of childbearing, there shouldn't be a whole lot of problem. Problems are caused from the time the baby is conceived until it's born. That's where the problems exist. And, usually with bad eating habits or probably medications they may or may not need. It just depends. A lot of process that goes in it that can cause that. But it talks about the disparity, and we know that in the African-American community, healthcare is not the best. And so most diseases and problems and issues affect us far greater than it does the majority community. And that's crazy, and everything is based on percentages, of course, but we get affected far more than they do. And there's a problem. You would think this is 2023. If you fix some medical procedures, you would think you fix them across the board. And you can't just say because
it fits for so-and-so.
Yeah, because it's your blood system and your system is different than other people. We had the woman on. Remember, we had the young lady on for sickle cell. And remember, everybody thinks sickle cell is a Black disease.
Yeah.
And she said, no, it's not. It's a slave trade disease, because a lot of the Europeans had that trait and they were bringing it over here. So, some of the stuff that we think about, it really ain't what it is. Here's a and I really want to get back to Tori Bowie for a minute, but Michigan Medicaid on January 1st began reimbursing doula services to provide support for women who are often unheard. Now that's interesting. So the Medicaid, so there's got to be some facts behind it, or some evidence to support that it works. Because
I'm sure at this point they gotta kind of acknowledge it, right? You can't.
Insurance company ain't paying nobody for nothing.
For nothing. Any way they can figure it out. I was watching the episode of this show Suits, and they were, in this case, the husband was trying to, receive the benefits from the wife, and on the application for the insurance, she said she didn't smoke, and they were turning down his, claim. They wouldn't paying out. And he's like, well, she died in a car accident. Like, I don't understand why, our benefits. Is like, well, we found this picture on Facebook of her from some years ago, and she had a cigarette in her hand. It wasn't up to her mouth. It was just, in her hand, and she was with some friends in the picture, and they were saying they weren't paying the claim or the insurance, whatever, because she said on this application that she did not smoke, and they found a picture of her with a cigarette in her hand.
So they were saying that she committed fraud.
Yes, insurance fraud, and they were not going to pay. And you're like, are you kidding? She didn't die from cancer. She died in a car accident. Like, we're only just trying to get what we've been paying into all these years.
Right.
But, this is TV. But I only imagine this kind of wild stuff happening in real life. That they got somebody prowling the internet when they don't want to pay auto insurance. Like,
but they don't want to pay.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why you got all these lawyers out here. All these lawyers out here suing. The one lawyer said, what did he say? We hate insurance companies. I forget which one it is. His commercial is, I hate insurance companies,
Wow.
but I love getting my clients paid. So if insurance company won't pay you, call me, because I love taking money from them because I hate them. And you know, that's the crazy part, is that you pay this money in,
Thinking that they got my back.
and they don't want to pay you. It's funny because, like, especially with health insurance and life insurance, because they got this waiting period that you got to wait before you can even use the insurance. And then they don't want to pay it. Really?
Nuts.
That's the craziest mess I ever heard in my life. But that's and if you don't have money, you're going to lose every time, because you can't fight. Okay, so here we go. Factors associated with increased cesarean risk among African American women. So they studied in California back in 2010. And they said that black women have a higher rate than other women of having cesareans. And that's crazy. You know, their thing is, we just want to cut you. That's how this works. You doing you something wrong with you, we gonna cut you. And that'll fix it. So there you go. What you got?
No, I was just reading. I went back to Tori because this whole time I literally thought she had committed suicide. I never
Did
looked
you really?
into. Yes, I never looked into it. I just seen it like, oh dang, that's so super sad, because it seemed like it was all just like mysterious around everything, and I never circled back to be like, oh, what happened with the autopsy, or what, till just now. And I'm like, oh dear, now it makes sense why.
Right. No, they were saying that she died. It was a complications from childbirth.
Yeah. Wait a minute. The autopsy report listed the weight for Bowie, who was 5'9", as 96 pounds. And she was 8 months pregnant.
See, that's
But,
crazy.
but her body and organs were in normal condition.
Ain't nothing normal about that.
Yeah. That's wild.
It
And
is.
she was alone and nobody had seen her for a few days, so they had did a welfare check and found her.
And see, there's the other thing though. Far too often we have medical conditions or emergencies and we don't say anything. We just zip the lip and hope it'll go away. And it's funny because this article talking about they said they had a spike in maternal mortality rates among non-white women, and they blamed it in part on doctors failing to listen to the patients.
Oh dear. Oh, when it became somebody else not being listened to or being acknowledged for the symptoms they were listing out.
But and that's why that may have some to do with her problem, because they said that doctors tend to not listen to female patients, especially Black female patients, at far greater numbers than any of the other patients.
Yeah.
And then don't be elderly and go in there. I remember years ago, I went to the doctor with my father, and he was about 60. And the doctor was telling me what was wrong. And I'm sitting here, he's sitting right next to me, the doctor talking to me, saying, now he needs to do, and I said, whoa, why are you talking to me? He's sitting right here. You need to be telling him. Let me listen. Let me ear hustle and hear what you're saying, but you need to be talking to him. It ain't my job to explain to him what you're saying. It's your job to explain.
And make sure they understand. Talking around and over people and assuming that somebody understands and all this, and having a problem if there is a question,
Right. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm getting down to the story. They said Black women are more than 3 times as likely to die from a pregnancy-related cause than a white woman. And then they said the autopsy on Tori Bowie, who died from childbirth complications. Well, this ain't no picture of her. What do you got? This ain't her. Eclampsia.
Mm-hmm.
They saying that may have contributed to her death. That may have included eclampsia. According to autopsy report, she was found dead in a bed while approximately 8 months pregnant. One or more seizures during pregnancy or in the postpartum period developed from preeclampsia. And when pregnant women with normal blood pressure suddenly develop high blood pressure, protein in their urine, and other complications after 20 weeks of pregnancy. You are at increased risk if you are Black, overweight, or if you have underlying health conditions, but it can develop in anyone, excluding someone who is thin and super healthy. Mm-hmm. That's what this Dr. Nicole Calloway Rankins says. And it's got to be treated. Well, there you go. And then I hear the picture of her. I saw this picture of this light-skinned woman. I said, that ain't her.
That ain't her. Somebody done posted the wrong picture in this article.
And so evidently, they still don't know. Mm-mm. They don't even know much about her pregnancy. But they saying it's theoretically possible that she had a seizure and just didn't recover. So they just guessing.
Guessing. Mm-hmm. Sounds like it to me.
And so then how do we fix the problem if all we got is guesses? Because like you said, you read she was, 98 pounds, you said?
96, 5'9" and 96 pounds.
That ain't healthy nowhere.
At all. I mean, I've seen very thin people be all stomach. I've seen it, but in my mind, I think that they're only 96 pounds. I don't know, because I've never seen them on the scale, but to me, that just seems, sheesh, how are you providing proper nutrients if you're that thin, like for you and a baby, a growing baby?
Right, it's bad enough just a person, but a pregnant, 8 months pregnant.
Yeah, that's when they growing the most, right? Not doing all the extras.
Right.
I mean, I'm no expert here, guys, because no, thank you. See, this is why. Anybody listening and watching or watches this back and hears it, and you wonder why Brandis doesn't want children because of these things. I got enough going on by myself.
Well, one thing for sure, the baby ain't gonna be ain't gonna be healthy. Because what the baby living off of? Yeah. It ain't going to be healthy. So yeah, no.
Gotta be underweight or something. And that's alarming already. So yeah.
Right. Whew. Yeah, so that's what's going on for the most part. And then of course the usual daily shootings. It seems like now. I guess we're trying to catch up with Chicago. I don't know. Because you see last night the 4 guys got shot in Ypsilanti.
I think I did see that, scroll past that today, yes.
Yeah. Three of them was brothers. 2 of them died. They were 14, 16, 19, and 20, I think. The 4 of them. And they said the brothers were dropping this other guy off. Mm-hmm. And that's who they were after or whatever? Nobody knows. But they was talking to one of the police officers from Ypsilanti. He said he knew the brothers because they grew up right down the street from him. Mm-hmm. And so, but they were dropping this guy off, and somebody just decided they wanted to shoot him up, and there you have it. Yeah. So, yeah. You just never know. You just never know. And then it was something. I didn't write it down because it wasn't going to be a topic of discussion. I thought the show was going to go a different way. But there's a multi-million-dollar grant coming in from the federal government to do some improvements in Detroit. And so that's supposed to start rolling in the next few weeks. And then, you know, they opening a new hotel down on right off Michigan. I was just reading it. I can't think of the name of it, but it's getting ready to open up in the fall. So as much craziness is going on, still some good stuff happening.
Yeah.
Still some good stuff happening. So we gotta at least look forward to the good
some of those
stuff.
things. Yeah.
Oh, here it is, right. Michigan to receive billions to expand internet access, and Bourbon Garden returns. And Bourbon Garden returns. Two separate things. But yeah, it's supposed to get billions to expand equitable high access to high-speed internet. So Whitmer announced that Monday, $1.5 billion from the Biden administration. All right. Well, that's good. And Bourbon Garden return to Grand Circus Park starting tomorrow. What is Bourbon Garden? I don't know. But anyway, so it's some other stuff happening. And I guess
fixing the damn roads. Of course, Whitmer says that it's gonna help us continue fixing the damn roads.
Did she say that?
No, yes, it's a quote.
I didn't read the whole thing.
This plan will help us continue fixing the damn roads and the dams and roads.
Well, let me just say this.
We didn't do it all at the same
in case I'm the only one that noticed. They are fixing the dam.
Just in case it was just me and you who happened to be out there.
We were just out there this past weekend. And I'm telling you, from one side of the state to the other side of the state, there is construction. They fixing the damn roads.
It is happening. When I went to Vegas a few weeks back, I was like, now if I see any cones out here, I'm a just flip. And we went down a road and I was like, took a picture, I sent it in the group chat, like, they doing construction out here. What kind of money they done got?
Well, I mean,
it's all across the world happening.
Right. And so we was in Illinois. We went through Chicago. Mm-hmm. But if anybody been through Chicago, Indiana, Chicago, you know they've been working. My daughter
in them same sections. I swear it feels like it.
She went to school in 2005, right? To Chicago in 2005, and they were working on the roads then. And I'm telling you, they working on the same roads. It's
same
18
pieces of road.
It's 18 years later. And it ain't like they ain't building no highway. They just fixing the roads.
I think the only thing is different now is 94 when I used to go, to 74 A and B to Western. Mm-hmm. 151 that is wider and that's changed. That looks different now, but I mean, other than that, they would have to show me a before and after picture for me.
You can see the improvements in West Michigan with the roads, like you said, because they're wider. They look nice and clean and all that. But I'm talking about Chicago.
Some of this other stuff look exactly the same section.
When you get to that, when you get 10 miles, 15 miles outside of the Illinois border.
What's that exit? What's them little exits right there? I can't think of them, but it seemed like that same section is skinny little lanes. You up against the guard thing.
They send you. They turn one lane into one lane and send you up there. And,
you take going down one road. You split, and y'all both on the same road. Like, why are we still doing this?
But I mean, so for them that was cool because I only had to go through that when I was going there. But now that's what we dealing with here because they fixing all the roads at the same time. But I understand why. Because her first 4 years in office, the Republicans controlled the legislature, and they would not free up the money to fix the roads. They would not do it. As soon as the Democrats got it, they start throwing money everywhere.
Everywhere, Go ahead. What you
fix it. Do? Fix that damn road over there. So they fixing them roads. Nah, it's a pain in the butt because they fixing all the roads at the same time. So you,
That part, we'll think through it next time.
yeah, you can't.
Somebody go to the town halls and stand up and say that. So they can put that on, their radar to not do it at the same time. We appreciate it, but if we could just rethink it a bit, I think it'll help us some here.
But I understand why though, because her term, she term limited out. She can't. I think this is her last
Yeah, oh
term.
yeah, it's gotta, yeah.
So she got to do it.
Yeah.
Her legacy got to say that because she ran
Fixed
on
the
that first time fixing damn
Yeah.
roads. So
Y'all talked about it and she needs something to do.
and you remember
Fix
when she
them
ran
roads.
ran for re-election,
Yeah.
they said you said you was gonna fix the damn
Fix the
roads.
roads. What's up?
What's up? So now she's fixing them. So now when she
Yeah.
leave, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say about her,
But guess
she
what?
fixed them damn roads.
Facts.
So if anybody listening to this and y'all got her ear, tell her we see it. You fixing them roads.
We thank you.
Thank you.
Holding down that one.
That's right. That's right. My tires ain't crying. They hitting some smooth pavement. But that's crazy. And hey, but I mean this high speed internet thing. Oh, this last thing, and we get out of here. Did you see the thing about Costco?
I seen a line at Costco this morning at 9:57, and I was like,
Really?
y'all think the stuff is going to sell out in Costco? Are we that eager to get into Costco? But y'all talk about me lining up for shoes, but here y'all are lining up to get cases of water. No offense, I'm gonna just go on about my day.
well, you know what they did at Costco's? They are cracking down on people sharing their Costco card.
Membership. Okay.
They doing the Netflix thing.
The Netflix. Oh, that. I was wondering how they were going to do that, and they did it.
They doing the Netflix thing.
Yeah,
because Netflix did the thing.
Yeah,
they made it work.
Yep.
And I ain't mad. I ain't mad because at the end of the day, you ain't paying for that service while you use it.
Yeah, you can't be mad at that. Nope.
And then for $8, you can get your own for $8. Just let them send you an email, a text message with a link in it, and for the low rate of $8 a month, you can have your own Netflix.
Access to all this stuff and all the TVs in your house.
And if they do it, well, they're gonna do it at one at a time. You can't do it at the same time.
Yeah,
you can't be in two different rooms watching two different programs.
Right. But at least it'll recognize you at the same place.
And if they do it right, you can send like the account that you set up on your people's account. They can send you the link to that account, so you won't lose all your favorites and views and all that. We didn't get that to work, but
no, it's an option, eh?
But that's an option. I was hoping that was gonna happen because I had to start from scratch because it didn't know who I was.
Excuse me.
But yeah, so Costco doing the Netflix thing. They say people going in Costco's, and which amazes me. I got to read the whole story because I just I got the blurb on the news. But how are you going to Costco's and you don't have a card? Would you depend on the kindness of strangers? So you go around there shopping.
They're not doing their job, don't care. It's got to be that.
Because when I went now we used to go. What we do is when Nanny go, she would just buy all the stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd push the basket. Yep. And then we get outside. She,
we distribute. Yeah.
Right. But it wouldn't be like I'm buying here go the card for mine. And I'm swiping it for them too.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing that, you're stupid.
Yeah, that just don't make sense. Like I'm always, and I'm like, when we beat the system or, finagling some things, like, can we just do it the smartest way? Like, we don't gotta, be obvious and pass the card or pass or do whatever in front of the people and make it obvious. That's why Granny used to pop us when we'd be like, I'm 8. and Ponderosa, because shut up. Why are you in here? Ain't nobody asked you how old you were. So I learned that. Like,
right, that's right. Discretion.
Ain't nobody's talking to you.
Right.
Staying right here.
Stay in a child's place.
1, 2, I guess.
Right.
17 kids, all under 10.
All under 10. And all of them up. And all of mine.
All of them belong to me. Bring up the bill.
Right. So if you go to Costco, if you don't have if it ain't your account, you ain't got nothing to say. Matter of fact, the best way to do it is write your list up, hand it to the person that's got the account.
Yeah.
And let them go in the store by themselves and get 2 baskets if they got to. Oh, no. Send one of your kids with them.
Yeah.
And they
Very
push a
simple
bag
things.
and fill the baskets up and pay for the stuff.
Yeah.
And then settle up when you get home.
Yeah. Give me the money and a guesstimate in advance, and then give me my change back outside. Whatever
Right,
we need to
right.
do, we got to be obvious.
Right, but don't be making Costco got to be bad people
Doing
like
right.
Netflix. They didn't want to do that to you, but you're obvious.
Holding the picture up next to you, talking about
You sitting
Miss
in the store.
Johnson. I don't look like you.
I got me and I got them too. These next 3 people, I got all of them on my
Yeah.
card. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So I found that entertaining. The Costco's would do such a thing.
Cracking down. Yeah.
Yeah, the innocent people who
Because I
just
mean, have they gone up, or are they the membership still
the about
what it was?
what was it?
I don't know. It was about
Costco membership.
$100.
Yeah, Costco membership high.
Yeah. Okay.
Their membership is high. But now here's the thing. Depending on where you sit on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Costco is a union shop. So they have a union there.
Okay.
Sam's Club don't.
Okay.
Sam Walton them don't believe in that kind of stuff. So I think they make up the difference in the membership cost as opposed to the cost of the goods.
Okay.
So if you go, so I understand that, but thinking about it, I understand now if I pay that much money for a membership, I'm swiping my card for everybody. Everybody.
Yes, cousin Linda, they are doing that. She said, I didn't know they shared cards. Still shared cards. Yeah. People still getting by however they can.
People doing what they got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. If we don't, hey, people doing what they got to do. And the funny part about it is the ones that's doing the most still is the ones that make the most money.
Yeah. Trying to get around it. Now, I would have to look and see like what's in comparison with like a BJ's and what their membership kind of rates are, because I'm sure it's rounded to the corner about the same.
Well, I know BJ, if I'm not mistaken, with the last time I saw it was only 1 or 2 times. BJ's is higher than Sam's Club.
Mm.
Yeah, so BJ, and depending on how you get your membership, because like a Sam's Club is going up too. But I think BJ's was at least $65, maybe $75, I think.
Let me see what the corporate works benefits site got offering, because I know my friend, she got hers through the job, and I think they get like some money off of the membership.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm like, I don't shop in bulk for real, so I don't know if it would benefit me.
I only get certain stuff.
Me.
Yeah, it's certain stuff I get,
in larger quantities.
But when the prices went up, some of the stuff that I get, the benefits gone.
Didn't make sense anymore. Gotcha.
Yeah, the benefits gone. Okay, BJ's for the regular membership is $55 for 12 months.
Okay.
You get a complimentary membership for 1 member of your household.
Okay.
And you can add on 3 members for $30 each annually.
Okay.
Now, if you do the club and card membership, where you get 2% back, but see, you got to get a credit card though. You got to get BJ's credit card. That's $110 for 12 months. And then the business one is what's the difference? Oh, it's $55 for 12 months. Well, what's the point of the business one? Get tax exempt and resale privileges. Okay. So the tax exempt thing. And you at 110 for 12 months with the plus club card. So it's the same, the price is the same as the cards, but you get the tax exempt privileges. The club card membership, club plus card membership, you get, okay, let's go back. The first one, your regular one, you get membership coupons, complimentary membership, I told you that, blah, blah, blah. For the rewards program, you get all them same benefits plus 2% back in rewards on most purchases, 5 cents off a gallon of gas at BJ's Gas, earn double or triple back in rewards during special events, and access to exclusive events during the year. Ooh.
Okay.
Right. That's okay. Yeah, okay. let's see. Costco. We out here telling everybody business now. You shouldn't have did that. Join Costco. Come on. Yeah, let's okay. Let's see. You got these different memberships.
Oh, geez, they got
Woo! Executive with 2% annual reward is $120 a year, plus applicable sales tax. Costco services discounts, shop online and warehouses includes 2 membership cards.
okay.
And get this the part right here. 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Okay, 120.
120. Shop online and warehouses, 2 membership cards, 2% annual reward, up to $1,000 on eligible Costco and Costco travel purchases. The gold value. Okay, here we go. See, this is the regular stuff. Gold member, shop online and warehouses, 2 membership cards, and 100% guarantee. So you can still get that 100% guarantee. $60 a year.
Okay, that's better than what I thought.
Yeah, it is. And that's it. They just got the two levels.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I won't judge you for lining up. I mean, as long as you promise not to do the same for me. You see me standing in a line on a Saturday morning.
Right. And let's see. Let's do the last one. Since we talk about everybody, let's talk about everybody. Where is it at? See, here we go. Automatically, they page is automatically different than everybody else. I went to the other page and it went straight in.
Right to a membership.
Went right to it. Now I'm trying to find membership on their page.
Okay, Sam should get 2 for a basic membership. Okay.
Oh,
got
yeah,
it.
you got it.
I was just looking at the comments in the chat.
Oh, somebody's telling you.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is better, Sam's Club or Costco?
What y'all think is better?
It says the prices at Costco's tend to be cheaper. However, Sam's Club has a greater selection of name brand products and a cheaper membership fee. Well, it ain't much cheaper.
What is it, $55?
60.
Oh.
55 is BJ's.
Okay.
So it ain't but $5 difference. But Sam's got the okay. Well, it says Sam's basic membership costs $50 now. Costco has 584 locations across the country. Sam's Club has nearly 600. Well, 584 is nearly 600.
So we got some depends on what you're shopping for, or which is better. Linda says Sam's never been to Costco. And are they like, is it like regional too? Like based on area, some of these places? No, they're all
BJ's.
I'm like, BJ's just popped out here.
They knew. They knew to this area. They were regional. But Sam's Club and Costco's, you're gonna find them not too far apart, really.
Okay.
But then there are some cities that don't have a Costco's, they have a Sam's.
It's more convenient. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Same. I think that's the same with like Meijer and Walmart. Like I don't have a real preference, right? If I'm having to go somewhere, but I was going to Meijer more frequently when I stayed right across the street from Meijer.
Right.
So
and they are generally within a mile or 2 of each other.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that Meijer's by you was on what's the street? Hall Road.
Yeah. When I stayed further down, it was right across the street, and then Walmart.
And Walmart's, you go east or west.
Yep.
And you run into
one.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. If you go east from where you are, you run into 2 Walmarts.
2. Mm-hmm. One right at 94, and then one right here. Then go down a little further to Mile. It's another one down there.
Okay, back that way. So
and then it's a Meijer, the one right at Hayes, and then it's one behind me on Grossbeck.
Right. Okay. And it's one on because Hall Road is 19 mile, right? Approximately
20
mile. Yeah. So there's a Meijer on 21 or 22
Yes.
mile. Yeah.
Yes.
So they
Either
all buy
direction
each
they
other.
in each other. Yeah.
That's why when I used to go shopping,
Mhm.
I would get my coupons, my sale papers, and I would go from let's take Farmer Jack's out the equation.
Oh man, Farmer Jack's.
I would go from Kroger to Walmart to Meijer,
Okay.
circle and come right back home.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be going too far out my way.
Yeah, out your way. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so they all over the place. But I'm glad somebody had that information because I don't know. But all I do know is that they full of it. Because there's a lot of people that have memberships to both of them.
Oh yeah, I've seen that too, and I'm like, well, what is? You just like memberships or something?
It's because I know when I was working, we used to do the events. We started out doing Sam's Club, but then when we found out that they were non-union, it was the union doing it. So we started doing business with Costco's. But we found out that some stuff that Sam's Club sells, Costco's don't sell. And some stuff that Costco sell, Sam's Club don't sell.
Got it.
And so you wind up, you might have a favorite.
Yeah.
But I mean, is it worth $60 more a year?
I don't know.
It's the question.
For me, it wouldn't be, but hey, to each his own, and get what you like. I mean, again,
Right.
if it makes sense for your household, which I certainly see why, shopping in bulk like that does for people.
Well, I mean, look, every time we go to the store, it's just two of us. Every time we go to the store, we spend a ton of money. Especially when we go there.
Yeah.
Because I get certain items there, that I just get from there, and then I get stuff from the regular grocery store. But I almost spend the same thing regardless of which place I go. And then the other reason to have a membership at either or is the gas prices.
Yeah, I know. My daddy say, get that Costco gas, sir. You're gonna go stand in a 40-minute line. But 6 more cents off the dollar, but okay.
Now I did today. I had my end of the month. I had my Kmart, not Kmart, my Kroger bonus points.
Okay.
So I got 50 cents off a gallon.
Oh well, yeah.
Because normally I go to Sam's and get mine, but I said, okay, let me see because of the gas station right there on the corner. And we was in the store. I said, okay, this is how much the gas costs. I get 50 cents off. Okay, I'm going right here. Ain't no need for me to go over there because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So that's the good.
Makes a world of difference here.
Right. And the last thing, what was it? I just saw it. Oh, the weather, the air.
Oh.
I don't know if y'all noticed it, but the air is terrible.
Like I literally went to the window and was like, oh, it's so foggy. I was like, got on my phone and was like, oh, never mind.
Listen, I was
and it's
yeah, but I was sitting there, I had the windows open. I went to sleep when I went to sleep the night. I had the windows open before they said before we went out of time. And I wake up, I'm like, why did it smell? Smell like something burning. I didn't,
wild.
I'm dumb. I thought the fires had stopped burning. And then when they said the air quality alert, I said, why are we having an air quality alert? You mean if the fire still burning?
Still going. That's my first thing. Like still? Did they take the weekend off and stop trying to put them out, or what happened?
I mean, are we in California?
Or what?
And then why Canada burning up? And Detroit got the worst air quality in the world. And Canada,
did it reach 300 today? I think it got 290. So it got to 300.
No, it was like 303 or 305.
Sheesh.
Why Detroit? They said it keep flipping because one day Detroit's the worst, and then the other day Chicago is the worst, and then New York will be the worst. I
see Pennsylvania inching up too.
Yeah, I think something phony going on with them.
Something right.
Why our air temperature air quality so bad? Why Canada ain't got the worst air quality? Somebody explain that to me.
Outside of there.
No, they said Detroit had the worst in the world. Do that include them in the world?
I'm gonna stay in here. I done turned the air on. I don't normally do that, but I'm like, I'm gonna close the windows and actually use this air conditioning or central air, whatever it's called in here.
Well, that's what they told you to do. Turn the way on. Okay, so we done took up enough time. Right. So thank you for listening in.
It has been a pleasure.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Next time we'll find some more compelling topics.
They hung out with us, so they enjoyed it.
Right. I can't get it to come up on my iPad.
Oh, 290-ish, yeah.
What's that? The air quality?
Yeah, cousin Linda's.
It's 290 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but earlier this morning it was like 305. Because they said Detroit had crossed into a whole new category of bad air.
Not a new category.
They said a whole new category of bad air. Because they said 175 is bad. So yeah, no.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. No, we all right, so I gotta remember I gotta turn the air on. So now I gotta spend more money on air conditioning. Because it's hot in here. Oh well. It is what it is. You got them. You anything else for you, Brandis?
Nope, that's it for me. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you all joining.
We appreciate your comments. and I'll say this, we say this all the time. We're gonna say it again. If you got anything any topic that you want to have us discuss or any people you want us to talk to, drop us a line. Trey, Trey at Comcast.net or drdixon33 at gmail.com. Either one of those, and we'll get in contact with those people or we'll research those topics. Until then, take care. We up out of here. Peace.
Peace.